Greetings and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Neverwinter Nights. Well, Malcolm Erikson, the Paladin, is ready to explore this castle. Well, it looks just like a rock face, but I suppose there could be a castle inside. This mysterious town of Charwood. Well, that's always a good opening. Spooky room. 3 doors, each with different lights. And a riddle chest. Well, a key is always handy. And a letter by a strange hand. Written in a strange but delicate hand, this note was found alongside a key in the foyer of Castle Jhareg. It appears to be a riddle of some sort and reads as follows. The 3 paths of justice. Very must be the judge, and straight his course, for his hand is burned by the fire of treachery, and his other is chilled by the ghosts of vengeance. The true path of justice lies with the heart and head, for only with reason can he determine the truth, and only with the compassion can he know its consequences. Alright, that's not much of a riddle, because it pretty much just tells us the answer. So it wants us to judge something, and we have to pick the right path, which is straight. So I'm guessing I'm going up here. Alright. Chests to loot. A fountain. With a knock spell that I can't use, but I'll take. Nothing here is locked by the looks of it. That's good. It is trapped, however.
It's done.
So we're getting some mild rewards. Oh, there is a locked chest. And a trapped chest.
Okie dokie.
Barely worth it. Alright, let's keep going. Not a chest. Ooh, throwing axes. And another letter in a strange hand. This note was found in the central passage of Castle Jhareg's main floor. It congratulates you in its graceful scrawl. Straight is the path of true justice, and narrow are its ways. Though no choice is free of consequence, you have chosen wisely and earned your due reward. Remember this lesson when it comes time to judge. Judge, 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 judge.
No can do.
Alright, no. Oh, look at that. A guardian. Impossible. The spirit before you is bathed in a divine and peaceful light. From behind her crystal mask, however, you can feel the piercing desperation of her eyes. Desperation? Ow. Oh, oops, that's the wrong bag. And I'm not seeing any other chests in this floor. Nope. Alright then, let's talk.
Greetings, Judge, and welcome to the Castle Jhareg. I hope you have learned your lessons well.
Did you write the notes in those chests? Not I, my child. The notes you speak of were placed there long ago by Lathander, god of the dawn, in anticipation of your coming. Long ago did the crime take place, and so great were its consequences that Lathander himself felt unfit to stand in judgment over those accused. Let's be reverent. Tell me more. It was a mortal crime, requiring a mortal as its judge. So it was that this castle and its village were placed beyond the weave of time, awaiting your arrival. The accused are confined in their towers beyond the north door. They are known as the brothers Jhareg, Khaled in the west tower and Quint within the east. Go on. You must learn from them the nature of the crime, and from them obtain their written oath. When both oaths are in my hands, I shall hear your judgment. Here now, this key shall open the north door, revealing the stairs to the two towers. Show wisdom, judge, and compassion for us all. Let's ask some questions. Then I shall answer them, and as I shall answer, Lathander gives me leave. Quint's one of the accused. Didn't I see him earlier? Before the dark befell this castle, Quint Jhareg was Lathander's cleric. When the Morning Lord sealed the towers, he allowed Quint to project an image of himself into the town below. Perhaps seeing the ghosts of the village was meant to be a special punishment for Quint, or perhaps balm to soothe a wounded soul. Lathander either loves or hates his fallen cleric. Either way, the Morning Lord knew he held too great a bias to stand in judgment over Quint's soul. Will you accept any judgment? Any at all? How many judgments can there be? There's guilt, and there's innocence. Well, no. They could be guilty or not guilty. Innocence is far more difficult to prove. What is this crime over which I stand in judgment? But Lathander's will I cannot say. In telling you of the horror, I might sway your judgment. No, you must learn it from the brothers themselves. What if I choose to kill the brothers Jhareg? You do not have the power in this place. The castle has slipped through the weave of time. In the same moment that they die, they are reborn. Only I have the power to bring this place back into the weave, and its power I cannot use until the judge has provides his judgment. Alright, enough questions? Very well. I shall return to you with the oaths. Then go into the night, dear judge, and find the dawn that we have awaited for so long. She must be bored out of her skull. Alright. Now I have, in previous playthroughs, gone through either side of the path, just to see what they are like. One side is basically lots of fire beasts that you need to fight, fire elementals I believe. And the other side is, I think water elementals. I don't think ice elementals were included. Anyway, it just tells you from, hey, you shouldn't be swayed by that. You should have followed the riddle, you dummy. But I'll just stick to the center path. Alright, now. East or west? I kind of forget which was which. You know what? Let's rest for. I can't rest while there are enemies nearby. You're gonna make this difficult, aren't you? Alright, let's try here. I'm sure Khaled's chambers will be peaceful. Well, peaceful enough that it will allow me to rest. Khaled Jhareg. What do I know about him? Well, nothing really. Quint was a cleric. So I'm guessing Khaled was not. Well, we'll see. Slads. Creatures of chaos. Red Sladi are the weakest of their kind. Most seek escape from the cruel treatment offered by the most powerful. Well, they're not the toughest enemies I've ever faced, but probably shouldn't say that too soon. There might be more. And we need the armor. Nowadays, the thing is said as beings of chaos. Does that make them evil? Yeah, I don't really need that many slat tongues. Let's focus on the real slat rather than the summoned ones. Darn you, Tommy. Stop dying, damn it.
It was so
I'm almost tempted to go find a different henchman, but nope. Not gonna do it. You shall not tempt me. Because he's just too darn useful. Even if he does die a lot. Alright, let's get rid of some of the crap that I picked up.
Hey, I'll tell you.
Alright. So fire axes, that's nice, but not gonna use them. Light hammer, Darasis hammers, good versus goblinoids. I don't think I will actually use that much. This is a Flavian circlet, yeah, I figured as much. Not that useful for me. And anything else is not really that important. Well, Scarlet of Blessing is kinda nice. Let's put it in the slots here. And that one's for Bless, and that one is for Aid. And I think I've sold everything that is of importance. Alright, good. That saves us some trouble.
Greetings.
Let's actually go back to the barracks for a moment. I feel like listening to a story. Tommy, if you'd be so kind. I prefer to not have to run all over the place to get you.
I've been waiting for you.
Yep.
Yes? Is there something you need?
I just want to talk a while. Yeah, I'd like to continue your story from before. I suppose I owe you an explanation of my days in Luskan. After all we've been through together. As I told you, I went to Luskan in search of glory and honor. But there was no honor to be found in that wretched city. At first, I found a warm welcome in Luskan. Half-orcs are accepted there as nowhere else. I quickly found work as a soldier serving one of the high captain rulers of the city. It was bloody, brutal work. Soldiers from different factions are always battling in the streets. Many men died by my hand during my weeks there. I killed them because I was paid to kill them. Because they were served a different master. There was no honor in these battles, Malcolm. Only senseless, shameful death. Well, why didn't you just leave? You don't understand, Malcolm. All the killing, all the bloodshed. I liked it. It stirred my soul. Each morning I could taste the coming battles on my tongue and feel the rush of combat in my veins. I reveled in the slaughter like an animal. Like a beast. It fed the dark taint of my father's orc blood and left a stain on my soul. I do not know how far I would have fallen had my fate not intervened and saved me from myself. What do you mean by fate intervening? My fury in battle earned me a promotion, and I was sent to the Luskan flesh markets to guard the slaves in their stockades. My first night at the stockades, the guards brought a new batch of slaves. Among them was an old man, naked and feeble. I recognized the tattoos on his face as the markings of an Uthgard holy man. I did not know him, he was from another tribe, but seeing him brought in, hands shackled behind his back, brought shame crushing down upon me. Well, you helped him escape, didn't you? At first I did nothing. The old man looked at me as he passed, and I saw in his eyes that he knew I was of the Uthgard, and he knew what I had become. Without warning, the old man threw himself at the nearest guard. A foolish gesture of defiance, for he was still shackled and bound. He was knocked to the floor, and the guards began to beat him. My world vanished beneath a veil of blood-red rage. When I came to my senses, I stood bathed in gore. The other guards in the stockade all lay dead by my hand. Good. That's probably good. They deserved it. The old man lay bleeding on the floor, stabbed by one of the guards during the fight. As I crouched over him, I saw his wounds were fatal. He gazed up at me and spoke in a voice choked by blood. Free the others. With my axe, I hacked away the chains of the other slaves in the stockades. Once they had all fled into the night, I returned to the old man's side. Go, he said with dying breath. I could do nothing more for him, so I fled before my actions were discovered. I left Luskan that night, a man saved from himself by another's sacrifice. We all have a dark side, Dalen. You have faced yours and triumphed over it. I thank you for your words, Malkin, and would like to believe you, but I know what I did in Luskan. I know what vile appetites I fed. I cannot deny my father's blood is within me. I can only hope to overcome this blight so that I may someday prove my spirit worthy of the Uthgard. Only then will my tribe welcome me back. Until then, this is my burden to bear. One of many. What do you mean, one of many? Forgive me, Malkin. You've been a good friend to listen to my tale, but there are some things I'm not yet ready to share with you. This is not the time to speak of such things, Malkin. I must focus on rooting out the cult responsible for the Wailing Death. Perhaps we can speak of this later, when the time is right. Yeah, perhaps. Well, let's talk to Grimnor.
I have been waiting for you.
Yeah, let's...
Is there something you need?
Let's just talk. I like to continue the story. Earlier, I mentioned my order's hatred for the abomination that is undeath, Malcolm, and I hinted at my own experience in battling such evil. I am not eager to dredge up those memories, but if we are to stand together, you deserve to hear the tale. What happened? Shortly after I had come to join the Order of the Long Death, one of my fellow monks returned to the monastery with ill news. He had discovered the lair of a powerful lich. Our service to the Silent Lord demands that we destroy such an affront to death, so we marched forth to destroy the foul creature and end its unholy existence. I myself never faced the lich in battle, but I was one of many assigned to the task of destroying the lich's zombie and skeleton servants. Never have I felt such revulsion or terror during a battle. I thought you liked killing in death. There is beauty in death. The exquisite agony of a mangled soldier's screams well up in a glorious crescendo before ending in a silent, perfect note of eternal silence. The writhing torment of a flailing body is transformed into the magnificent truth of a frozen corpse, forever stilled. But when a corpse is not still, when the dead continue to shamble and stumble forward in a gross caricature of living flesh, Where is Death's beauty then, Malcolm? I didn't realize she was so squeamish. My order killed scores of zombies in the crypt that day, Malcolm. Their bodies disintegrated beneath my blows in a shower of rotting flesh, yet were they pressed inexorably forward. But the true horror was yet to come. From the back of the tomb, where the highest-ranking monks of the Order battled the Lich herself, waves of necromancy spilled out over the battlefield. Several of my companions had fallen during the battle, and as the foul spell touched their corpses, they clambered to their feet, zombies under the will of the enemy they sought to destroy. You mean you had to kill some of your own companions? We do not fear death, Malcolm. And I had been able to bring the Silent Lord's touch to my fallen comrades, I would not have felt such revulsion at his memory. But the zombie has no mind. It feels nothing. The pain that purifies and prepares us for death has no effect on such creatures. The understanding that comes during a moment of death is forever denied to such creatures. I destroyed the animated lumps of flesh that were once my brothers and sisters in the Order, but I could not truly kill them. The undead can never be given such a release. What about the Lich? The Lich was destroyed, as were all its minions. We burned its lair, setting fire to the crypt so that dark magic might be cleansed from a sacred place of death. But even though we were ultimately victorious, the cost was terrible. The horror of battle haunts me still, as does the fate of my fallen brothers and sisters of the Order. I'm sorry for what happened to the other monks of your Order, Grimlaw. I thank you for your words, Malcolm, though I doubt you truly understand. You bring death and destruction, but you do not understand it as we of the Long Death. The true horror of what happened to my brothers and sisters is too terrible to comprehend, but I have vowed to free them from the torment of their undeath. How do you plan to do that? You are a servant of the Silent Lord, Malcolm. You bring death and pain to the world. Yet even so, you are not a member of the Long Death. My Order has secrets I'm not yet ready to share with you. This is not a time to speak of such things, Malcolm. You need to wait a level. We must focus on rooting out the cult responsible for the Wailing Death. Perhaps we can speak of this later, when the time is right. Yes, you all say that. Anyway, that's the end of this episode. Thank you all for watching. See you all next time, for the next bit of story time.